I want to know what Dylan Gemelli's Natty Plus stack is. That is, what are the supplements that he recently took as part of the stack where he put on a lot of muscle without having any side effects? Because the rules of Natty Plus is that it has to be better than natural to build muscle, and it has to be better than natural as far as health as well. So the Natty Plus protocol balances health with performance. And I think it's the protocol that most people would want to do who prioritize health, but still want to double or triple the speed that they build muscle at. So what compounds did you take, Dylan, at what dosages, and what were the effects?
So disclaimer, I am on TRT 125 milligrams a week, and I've been on that for right about 10 years now. But in terms of, I don't really cycle anymore at all. I kind of stopped cycling in general, but with SARMs, peptides, etc. So what I did first, before I took any SARMs, and when I came on as a enhanced sponsored athlete, I simply took the 3AD. That was just this by itself. And that's what led me into where I went with SARMs next. So I took 3AD for 60 days. And I put on like about 3-4 pounds of that, but it was like very, very clean, very strong. And then what I did after you and I talked, because I had not run, I'm so old school with what I use for SARMs. I just have always stayed old school. So I've always been like S4, Oster and GW. Like I always go back to those no matter what. I've kicked in YK11, RAD 140. So I did what you said with AC262. And I thought, you know what, if I'm going to do that, I'm going to go straight with S23. So what I did was I switched from GW, since I've run it so much, and did SR 9009, which I actually ended up liking better than GW. And I still kept old S4 in there. And then I did AC262 S23. And I actually just finished that about 7-8 days ago. And so all in all total, I started, and I was underweight because I hadn't been eating properly and so much stress, but I was about 168.5. Right now I'm between 182 and 183. My body fat actually dropped. I've got more veins in my stomach that, I mean, especially like when I get out of the sauna or after, like, you know, finishing cardio, it's fucking sweet. But my wife keeps telling me, how did you get so like hard so fast? And I'm like, the S23, you know, but like my incline dumbbell presses are like 90, 95s. I was barely doing 60s and 65s with a little struggle. I'm dumbbell benching with hundreds, and my bench press, I'm repping 225s for like 15 now, where I was struggling to do 2 before I did the cycle. I mean, and
wow.
Not that those are huge bodybuilder numbers, but from where I was to where I gotten, for considering I'm only 182 pounds, I think that pound for pound, my strength is pretty damn good for my size, you know? So it's been tremendous, but I jump started with the 3AD, and then I do take Epimuscle now for the, you know, the little bit of myostatin help, because I don't think people understand or pay enough attention to that. And I don't go straight for like the myostatin inhibitor like YK11, but the Epimuscle does help me. I've been staying on that. I've been doing that for what, 3.5 months, something like that. But I thought that was a nice little synergistic thing to throw in with the cycle to help, just like a support, basically.
Yeah. And you don't want to get too much bigger, right? Because you're a cardio guy also, and I wasn't, and you don't eat a lot because you like to keep. Yeah. Why don't you eat more and ever get like that bloated bodybuilder look? Why do you always keep it lean and tight?
So I got up to, I ran a big cycle in 2016. I did Anadrol, Tren, Equipoise test, and Winstrol, and I was up to shit like 210. And I mean, everybody said, oh my God, you know, you look great. You look great. And I go back in pictures and think, man, I do look great, but I didn't feel good. I don't feel great walking around. I feel heavy, and I just like, I don't know why, but I will say, and this is through more just prayer and mental clarity, right? I didn't want to gain this much size, and I did, and I feel really good, and I feel like it looks good. So I may, what I'm going to do next cycle is I'm going to do LGD 3303, And I'm going to do that with ACP 105 and probably AC 262 again. And I'm going to probably go for a little bit more and see how I feel in that 185 range, maybe even up to 190. But I just know myself where my comfort level is. I think it looks really good. I can show you pictures of it and you'd be like, holy shit. But you have to feel good beyond just looking good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So any side effects of this 3AD AC262 SR 9009 and S23?
That's the beauty of it. The only problem that I'm having has nothing to do with them. It's like, and I was kind of talking to you about this beforehand, it's like a tendonitis inflammation in my elbows from lifting heavier. But I just started taking BPC and TB500, the combination capsules. And so I'm taking those right now to try to mitigate some of that. And then I do a lot of ice in the morning and I sauna every day. But side effect, like from those, I haven't seen any. I just did a blood panel and it was beautiful. Cholesterol was great. All of the numbers were in line. So I don't see any issues. I don't do mega doses by any means, but I was doing 30 milligrams of S23, which is typically a little higher end, I believe.
How many milligrams?
30.
30, okay.
Because, a lot of people kind of stick at 10 or 20. And I do, with the 3AD, I bumped it from 4 capsules because Connor was telling me with his that he found the best results was 6 capsules a day. So I did bump the 3AD now to 6 capsules a day. I just started to do that now for my little bridge in between. And the AC262, I was doing 30 milligrams a day, and the S4 75. I like to run my S4 up to 100. I don't get the eye issues too bad on S4 like some people do. It doesn't seem to be problematic for me. And I don't know how you feel with the S4, but for me, my best results were at 100. So once I got to 100, I start to get the little bit of the yellow tint where it's uncomfortable. But 75 is nice. And when you couple that with S23, I got no qualms about making the statement and back it up that it is just as good, if not better, than Winstrol or Anavar for muscle hardening, if not better.
I really miss S23. It's been so long since I've taken it because I want to get my fertility up. But I think we can make up for it with enclomiphene, blue ox and black ox testosterone boosters. Because I already noticed I can get some natural testosterone production from while on cycles, gear or SARMs, with enclomiphene, blue ox, and black ox test boosters.
Really?
So I wonder if they're strong enough to also keep some level of fertility while on S23. Yeah. I might even risk it because I really do love S23. The only problem with it is the shutdown and fertility, but you're on TRT, so it doesn't matter. But
yeah,
fertility, maybe we can offset that with enclomiphene. So maybe S23 could be the best if enclomiphene could prevent the shutdown. Yeah.
Have you used 3303 at all?
Yes.
How do you feel on that? Like, because from what I see,
I feel it's very strong because when I take 3 capsules pre-workout, I feel it hit hard.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily a good thing too, because I get this hot, tired feeling that I get if I take too much gear. Same thing.
Right.
So I think based on what it feels like it has a short half-life, strong peak. And I wonder therefore how it would be to take like one pill like 4 times per day, like maintain steady blood levels of something that has a faster half-life like this. It's much more powerful. I think a lot of people probably don't get as much results as they could because they take a high dosage 1 time per day. So their blood levels are really high. And then the rest of the day, they're really low. But then LGD 3303 could be added as a pre-workout.
Yeah.
Because if during the rest of the day, you're on something that's a longer half-life, and then you just spike it right before workout, but not take too much, then that can be the best use for it too. So that's my opinion on LGD 3303 so far to date.
That's a good point. And you're absolutely 100% right. It's kind of similar to like the S4 half-life. I have it down in my brain that it's like 4 to 6 hours that you want to split your doses, and try to do that maybe 3 times a day if you can, if you don't want to go overboard on the dosing. And I do that with S4. And I did split the S23 dose. The AC262 was just once a day, but then SR, you also have to do it multiple times a day with the shorter half-life. So, but I don't mind. I'm good at keep it. If you saw what I kept track of daily between like supplements and like finances and everything, I just do it. It just, you either just do it or you don't. Right. So
how do you remember, like if you're on this protocol and you're taking the supplements multiple times per day, do you just remember or you write it down like, okay, this time I'm going to take this time I'm going to take that?
You know what, man? I remember phone numbers from when I was like fucking 10 years old. I have this memory where it's very strange. Everybody's just got something that they just are blessed with, right? And mine happens to be like memory. I have trouble remembering somebody's name because I talk to so many people, but with numbers and like stuff like this, I don't need a reminder at all. It's weird. It's very weird. But you know what? I have this thing here. You can't see it, but it's a desk board, buddy. And I got these dry erase markers and I write down like my schedule with people and stuff that it's right on my desk. But supplements, I don't know, man. I think because I'm so dialed in with my body and everything that I think it's so important to me that I just don't forget.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay. Got it. Yeah. I mean, because when you take a lot of different, maybe not everybody can probably remember it as well as you can. Because like you said, you have a better memory. But I think in this situation, maybe what would someone do who doesn't have as good of a memory? Like put a paper on the refrigerator, like this, take this at this time, this and this time, or
you know what? There's multiple things you could really do. You could set reminders on your phone. You could carry those little pill boxes around and have them set with little things on them that remind you to, or like you said, stickies or things like that, where you're going to walk by them and see them, because, once you develop a habit, you do get kind of in tune with it, I guess.